Ravens took on the Bengals yesterday in what was a very decisive win. They took care of their business and didn't waste any time, and neither are we, so let's just go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, this feels like a dream, and you know just what I mean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, he's a fan and he like the Ravens. And you know.
So YouTube team, keep it clean. What's going on? It's Ingraven here with another video, and I was about to say another episode. Another episode of NFL questions from subscribers, which we have a lot to do. And now it's crazy because I always say, man, after a win, we don't really get too many questions. After a win, we don't get that many questions. Well, we still get a lot of questions regardless, but compared to a loss, that's when way more questions come. When Ravens lose, that's when way more questions come. But I'm enjoying this. Ravens are on a 5-game winning streak? Yeah, because I think they started 2-2. Won the first 2, then lost the next 2, and then ever since then, they've been taking off. But anyway, in this game, this was a game where the Ravens, they were facing an opponent who was definitely not as good as them, and they took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do. Now, I didn't think it would get that ugly. I said the Ravens would win by at least 10, but I was so glad to be proven wrong. I love when they prove me wrong on stuff like that. I absolutely love it. I love it. And it just makes the week that much better. I know my guy Josh Hoffman, he was saying that, so this is what it feels like. This must be what Patriots fans feel like. Because what he said with Patriots, they have closer games with better opponents and they beat them. But then with the bad opponents, they just blow them out the water. And I was thinking like, oh, well, yeah, maybe this is it. So hopefully we can also get that feeling that Patriots fans have when they in the Super Bowl every year. So we'll see how it goes. But I know we do have some questions from subscribers. One of them is, are the Ravens a contender? And yes, they are. And they've proven that. Because this is what contenders do. They take care of business. Against the good teams and against the bad teams. Now, don't let anybody try to discredit this win, because they can't. You could say, oh, it's just the Bengals. It's just the Bengals. There ain't nobody. They haven't even won a game. All the more reason why the Ravens should have taken care of business. And they did. They did what they were supposed to do. And again, it's been so many games in past years where the Ravens did not do what they were supposed to do against bad teams. These new Ravens is crazy because it's just different. It's just different because they're not playing down to the level of competition. They're correcting their errors and they're stepping their game like way up. It's been crazy. Now, had the defense, see, we just got another question from a subscriber just now, but had the defense been a little better, well, a lot better, early on in the season, I think things could have been a lot better. Man, you just never know. I know hindsight could be 20/20 and whatnot, but just think about it. Think about it. Think about that Cardinals game. And I know the Ravens won, but they had to make it stressful. But think about that Cardinals game. If the defense, because we didn't have a Josh Bynes, we didn't have an LJ Fort, and those two guys have been they've been amazing. Of course, Chuck Clark, he wasn't getting as much playing time as he is now, but think about it. If the defense was playing like they're playing now against that team, I don't think that game is as close as it was. I really don't. Think about the Chiefs game. First off, think about if the Ravens would have actually played their game against the Chiefs. Just it's fun to think about. Of course, that's all in the past, and you can't change the past. But the Ravens have corrected and made adjustments for going into the future. My guy Kevin Redline said it best. He said he's been so impressed with the Ravens' adjustments, with their midseason adjustments. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But anyway, We talking about the Bengals. Oh, and real quick, last thing before we get into this game, shout out to my guy K Swervo. Shout out to him for keeping it clean in the chat now, but also shout out to him for sending Marlon Humphrey's Instagram live story from yesterday. And I told him, I said, man, thank you for sending this, because I would have never seen it. I would have never seen it. Marlon Humphrey was going around a team playing on Instagram live, and these dudes just, and I know all like a bunch of teams, they all friends and stuff because they work with each other and what, but it's just crazy, man. The vibe on there was so nice, man. The vibe on there was it was crazy good, man. And of course, when you're winning, things are a lot better. But these dudes like seem like they got a lot of love for each other, and they talk about the stuff that we think about. Like they actually say it. Like, so it's like if we're thinking about it, they thinking about it too, and they come out and say it. For example, Marlon Humphrey going around IG Live. He was talking to Jordan Richards, and he was like, here goes Jordan Richards. He used to be on that other team, and he was referring to the Patriots. But he's like, now he's with us. Then he went over, and that's something that we be thinking about too. Then he said, he was like, for Jalen Ferguson, he went over to him. He was like, he's like, they call you Sack Daddy, but you ain't got no sacks. So again, he's willing to say the stuff that we're thinking about. And he even, I think this was him maybe trying to keep something on the low. But I saw on the IG Live somebody asked, oh, hey, what's up with Michael Pierce? So he went looking for Michael Pierce, and he found him, but he was like, he's on the phone right now. He's on the phone right now. And I was like, okay. That was the only person he didn't show. He showed everybody else though. And everybody, they had that Popeye's chicken after the win. I was like, oh man, that's a win in itself right there. One thing that I was very impressed with though, they were going around showing everybody. Like people who started, people who were active, people not active. They showed everybody. But they got to Brandon Carr. And I was extremely impressed with Brandon Carr. And it shows his maturity. It shows his dedication. And it shows just how he's so level-headed. Because I'm not saying that other people who are just vibing and whatnot, they're not level-headed. Shout out to Marciano. Marciano was having a beer. He was having a Bud Light. So man, these dudes were just chilling, man. They were vibing, man. But anyway, he showed Brandon Carr. And when he got to Brandon Carr was on his iPad and he was looking at film. These dudes fresh off a win, not even home yet. And this dude's looking at film. Like, really? That's what's up, man. So it's like the vibe is matching these guys' work ethic too. And that's contagious. And Brandon Carr, him being a veteran, he's setting a great example for the younger guys. And it's really good, man. This team is very special, man. Of course I hope they go all the way every year. But this year, like, they got to, man. Like you done showed you can beat the best of them. Well, now you got another test coming up this week. But I like how Marlon Humphrey also said too. He said we got 24 hours to celebrate this dub. Then after that, on to the Texans. So y'all make sure y'all check out his Instagram live story whenever you get a chance to. Because it's going to expire in 24 hours. And the game ended at about 4 o'clock. So you got, I don't know when this video is going to come out. It hopefully will be out before 4 o'clock. But time is a ticking. So make sure you watch that. Anyway, just to get into the game, finally, it was a great team win. We're gonna go in reverse order because we started with offense. Yes. Oh, shout out to everybody that was in the stream yesterday too. And the live game stream that we did during the game, that was a lot of fun. And then the post game stream that we did too. And thank you all for 21,000 subscribers. We got 21,000 subscribers now. And I say we because I mean we, not I. We got 21,000 subscribers. Cause y'all share the channel with your friends. Y'all share it with your family. Y'all tell people about it. A lot of y'all tell people about it at your jobs, your schools, your wherever. So thank you for that. Thank you for everybody that sends in the questions from subscribers, because again, that's a way of me saying thank you to you all for what you do on here and what you all make this channel. And again, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. Like somebody asked, because we do videos on everybody, on all the teams. Somebody asked yesterday, actually, they said, man, why do you have a Steelers shirt? And I said, I have shirts and jerseys for every team. But he's like, but why Steelers? And I said, again, it's every team. And that's exactly what the channel is. It's about every team. Of course, it's majority Ravens, but we talk about everybody on here because it's for everybody. I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're excluded, because they're not. You're not. I don't care who you like, who you dislike. Nobody's excluded. Only thing that will be excluded from here is disrespect, and that's it. If you're disrespectful, you can leave. Well, you'll be escorted out. Other than that, come on. You could talk trash about the teams, whatever. It don't matter. We just vibe on here, man. We had fun too. Somebody, like yesterday when we were streaming, somebody came in on the live stream, somebody who was new, and they were like, "Oh, no disrespect, but what are you commentating on a game or what's going on?" But they were like, I'm not being disrespectful though, and they didn't ask it in a disrespectful way. And I told them, I said, on here we just chill. We're just chilling. I said we just chilling. This channel is super laid back. It's not all super professional and all that, and but I don't know why I did the robot thing, but it's just a vibe, man. That's it. It's just a vibe. You ain't gonna see all these super pretty special effects and all that. I do need to upgrade my streaming camera. Shout out to Chickers. I know y'all know who Chickers is. He was like, it was so funny. He told me like a month or two ago. He was like, man, I forgot what he said, but he was like, he's like, why you don't upgrade? He's like, why you don't upgrade that streaming camera? Cause I got a webcam that I've had for years, like it's older than Carter. I don't even know where I got it from. I don't remember where I got it from, but I've had that webcam for years. And it is time though. It is time. I actually tried to. I need to figure out how to use this camera to do the live stream. I tried it like once, but I just gotta be a little more patient. Anyway, let's get into it, man. This game, starting off with the defense. The defense, I talked about a little before the game. That this game would be a big one for Marcus Peters, because he would have the opportunity to bait Ryan Finley into some bad throws, and he did just that. And he ended up getting an 89-yard pick six. The pass rush was inconsistent in this game, but when they made plays, they made plays. Patrick Ricard, he ended up getting to Ryan Finley and knocked the ball out. And when he knocked the ball out, Tyus Bowser scoop and score. It was a beautiful thing. And so they scored on defense twice in this game. Yeah. And then of course Chuck Clark with his best peanut impersonation. I forgot which Bengals receiver had the ball. Chuck Clark came, knocked it out. Earl Thomas picked it up. It's like these guys, they're forcing turnovers, and that's what you need your defense to do. What I keep saying is that with this team, the pass rush is still a problem. It's very inconsistent, and it's weird because when they brought less, that's when they got more pressure. When they brought more, that's when they got less pressure. But with this team, with the pass rush being as inconsistent as it is, they can still do some things. But I said if they're going to do some things, their offense is going to have to go off. Because it's not like the pass rush is just, oh, man, the pass rush is terrible. Well, it is pretty bad, but it's not where it's like it never generates anything, but it just doesn't do it consistently. And, of course, you don't expect them to get back there every single play, every single drive, every single snap. I'm not asking that and not saying that. But you do expect them to produce a little better. But against better quarterbacks, that's when you're really going to need that pass rush for sure. But the defense is good enough to where even if they don't have the best pass rush in the world, they can still force some 3-and-outs. They can force some fourth downs and whatnot. They can force some punts. So, but the offense is going to have to do that much more, as they have been doing, which is a great thing. So they still got a chance to be special, man. They really do. But the defense, they played pretty good, but run defense was a problem. And we saw with Michael Pierce going out that it's the same way that when Brandon Williams goes out. We can't have one without the So yeah, Michael Pierce. I think he should be fine though. I don't think it'll be a major injury or anything like that. I think he should be back for the next game against the Texans, and we sure are gonna need him because Duke Johnson's coming back to town. Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde. That was a really good. I like Duke Johnson, but Carlos Hyde has been really good for the Texans too, in my opinion. I really liked that pickup for them. And Carlos Hyde, he been around for a little while now, man. He been like sneaking around. First he was on the 49ers. Remember that? Wasn't he a first round draft pick? I want to say he was, but I don't remember for sure. He's on the 49ers. Now the Texans. He went to the Jaguars for a tiny bit. He was on the Browns too, I think. And they traded him to the Jaguars. But I forgot where else he went. But anyway, we'll talk about that game later on. So Michael Pierce, I think he'll be good to go though. And the reason that I say that, and I said it in the stream, I think he'll be good to go because he even tried to come back in this game. But they were like, no, he couldn't go. So with him trying to come back in this game, then that bodes well for next week. Because if he was trying to come back in this game, then that lets us know, like, hey, well, it wasn't all bad. And it's a possibility that the coaching staff held him out and were like, no disrespect to the Bengals, but this is the Bengals, so we need you, but we can probably get it done without you. So they may have decided, you know what, just rest, just relax, just chill, and our boys will get this. And they did. Again, run defense suffered, but they were able to get enough stops to where they could force the passes, and they stopped that. The secondary. Every corner except Marlon Humphrey almost had a pick. Brandon Carr almost had a pick. He dropped it. Jimmy Smith almost had a pick. He dropped it. Marcus Peters, he got his pick. But yeah, Humphrey didn't almost get any picks, but they played well. This is a special secondary, man. Special secondary. And it's a beautiful thing to have that. Especially as a Ravens fan, because we all know what a bad secondary looks like. We all know what injuries do to a secondary firsthand. Oh man, we went through it every year, and we even went through it this year too. But now guys, they gotten healthy, and it's made a big difference. So it just allows the Ravens to do more. It allows Wink to be able to do more. It allows him more freedom in his play calling. So that's been a good thing. Linebackers, Josh Bynes played a really good game. But that's been, we've been saying that like every week. So we just been used to him playing really good. Peanut. After the play where he was stuck, he froze up. I didn't really see him that much. I didn't really see him that much. Maybe I missed him. I don't know, but I didn't see him that much after that. But they played a good game. Chris Wormley, he had a sack. Pat Ricard, he had a sack. And they've been with the defense. They haven't been like locked down, even though they've been playing really good. They've been holding teams out. They haven't been like super locked down, but they are an opportunistic defense right now. They make opportunities and they take opportunities. So that has made a big difference with this defense. And they, over these past 5 weeks, man, they have clicked, man. They've clicked so much better, and they've been so much better, and it's just been very, very, very nice to see. So shout out to them for that. Special teams. Justin Tucker, he didn't have to kick any field goals. He had to kick the point after attempts, but no field goals, because the Ravens, they were getting the ball downfield and they were converted. They were scoring touchdowns. So I don't think he kicked out one field goal, and I think Sam Cook only punted once, like one time. And that was it. Now, Justin Tucker, it ended up hitting the upright on one of his point after touchdowns, but it ended up going in. So, again, like I said yesterday, even if somebody is perfect at what they do, if somebody is so great at what they do, even when their mess up still works out, it's like, oh, that's like a big deal to us. Because, like, whoa, he doesn't normally do that. So, even his mess ups are good. That's crazy. Justin Tucker, man, best kicker ever. Anyway, special teams, they did their thing. Shout out to the Wolfpack. Shout out to special teams, is great. Kick coverage, except for that one kick return, they were pretty solid on that, even though I think Bengals only had 2 kick returns. DeAnthony Thomas, he only had 1 kick return. But yeah, so it ain't like Bengals were like scoring a bunch of touchdowns where DeAnthony Thomas was going to get all these opportunities anyway. So yeah. Now offense. Lamar Jackson, quarterback. He played a great game, and again, he did what he was supposed to do against a bad opponent. He did what he's supposed to do. He threw 3 touchdowns, 2 to Mark Andrews, 1 to Hollywood Brown, and the 1 to Hollywood Brown was very impressive because the Bengals, they brought the house. They brought a lot of pressure, but Lamar was able to put it out there for Hollywood. He threw it a little bit behind, but not behind to the point where the defender even had a chance to get it. So he could have put a little more air on it. He could have put a little more in front of Hollywood, but the throw was just fine. It got to Hollywood at a good spot. Hollywood jumped and got it, caught it, touchdown, boom. Beautiful. And with Mark Andrews, of course, you know that's his buddy. That's his best buddy, man. So them tight ends, they eat, they feast, they are greedy with it. So with Lamar, the running play, of course, the play of the game. That was just amazing, man. The play was just, it was insane. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. But Lamar, he did it. He did it, and he did it well. It was just a beauty of a play. And that somebody asked yesterday in the live stream, do you think that was the best run of Lamar Jackson's NFL career? I said yes. And the reason I say yes is because we've seen some flashes of those runs like that, but he never got to finish. He may get close, but he was always get stopped short. But on that one, it was a very long run. He made people miss, and he finished for a touchdown. That was a beautiful thing. Lamar Jackson, he made the throws, and he's putting it, like a lot of y'all said, right in the breadbasket. He's putting it right where it needed to be. Exactly where it needed to be. And again, to the people that say, oh, well, it was just the Bengals, he did what he was supposed to do. Ravens did what they were supposed to do. They beat a bad team, but they beat good teams too. So it's like, man, like people gonna try to come up with something now. They're gonna have to come up with something now. You know they will. Anyway, great game for him. Putting it on the money. He was just the way that he was playing and just the way that he was moving. And I said it yesterday a lot in the live stream. The way that he would stick the ball to Mark Ingram and stick the ball to the running backs, and the way he would yank the ball out for the RPOs when he was keeping. He really had control of this game, and he had confidence in this game like crazy. His confidence was through the roof in this game. It was through the roof. So that was a great thing. Mark Ingram, he didn't go off any crazy amount of yards, but yeah, he has a couple good runs. He was solid, and again, very efficient runner. Gus Edwards, same thing. When he does get his chances, he does some good work. Gus Edwards had a touchdown, so great for Gus. Shout out to Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus. Justice Hill, he only had a couple carries, but he always only has a couple carries, so that's nothing new. Hollywood Brown, of course, they started off the game. Hollywood Brown, the big bomb to Hollywood, which was great. And the other catches, he did run out of bounds, because we know Hollywood, he's still hurting. So he's trying to take care of his body. But shout out to Hollywood, man. Shout out to him. And then there was another catch that he had. Now I forgot about it. But anyway, Hollywood, he had a screen pass that they threw to him, or pass in the flats. He ran that out of bounds too. Hollywood had a decent game. As far as other receivers, Willie Snead didn't catch anything till RG3 got in there. And speaking of RG3, that little Heisman package. Ooh. I loved it. And like I said yesterday in the video, I do believe that because the Ravens didn't need to show that. They didn't need to show that. They didn't need to pull that play out. But I think that was a reminder to us that I think it was Greg Roman just being like, hey, see, I got some stuff that y'all ain't even seen yet. I got some stuff dialed up that y'all ain't even seen yet, and that y'all might not even be ready for. So just know. I think that was him just giving us a reminder that he got it. Okay, cool. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. So that was nice, man. But yeah, Willie Snead, he ain't catch a pass till RG3 got in there. And I told people that too. I said, while we were doing a live stream during the game, I said, watch as soon as RG3 get in, that's when Willie Snead gonna catch a pass. And watch him mess around and get a touchdown too. And he was just about to get a touchdown. Then that safety made a perfect play on the ball, and he came at the last second and got the pick. Oh, that was such a beautiful interception. Such a beautiful interception. Because Willie Snead was gone. That was touchdown. But It's all good, man. At least it came on RG3's watching, not Lamar. But I did say too during the live stream, I said, well, I guess RG3, he just played himself into another year with the Ravens as a backup, because that was him getting in the game, like in the Dolphins game, and then in this game, those were his auditions for next year for him to be traded to be a possible starter. But with that interception, anyway. The other receivers, they didn't get any chances. Boykin, nothing. Seth Roberts, nothing. Chris Moore was inactive. Jaleel Scott was inactive. So yeah, that was it. And of course, DeAnthony Thomas, he wasn't on offense yet, I don't believe. And again, like I said, for DeAnthony Thomas, I expect him to sprinkle him in little by little, because that'll give us another playmaker, another deep threat. So I think little by little with him. So we'll see how that goes. Tight ends, of course, they 8. Nick Boyle 8. Mark Andrews 8. Hayden Hurst is doing his thing too. Those tight ends, they a beautiful trio, and I'm glad that we still got them all together. I love it. I absolutely love our tight end situation, and I love it because any one of them could start, and they all pretty much do start. It's like our starters for tight end are 1A, 1B, and 1C. I feel like we don't. I know Nick Boyle's technically the starter, but I feel like we don't have like, oh, that's the guy for the Ravens at tight end. I know most people, if you say, oh, who is the guy for them at tight end, most will say Mark Andrews. He catches the most passes, but all these dudes contribute, man. All of them contribute, and it's such a very it's such a nice, not a nice problem to have to try to feed them all, but it's just a nice situation, and I love it. And Boyle almost had a touchdown. And I love how, again, back to Marlon Humphrey's IG Live, all the 3 tight ends were sitting together. And Marlon Humphrey was like, oh, you should have had that touchdown. And Boyle, he was humble about it. He was cool about it. He was chilling. He was like, yeah, I tried. But he wasn't tripping off of it. He wasn't tripping off of it at all. So that was super cool. Offensive line. Run blocking, offensive line was good. Pass blocking, they did good overall. There were no almost Lamar sacks. I don't remember any, but they did their thing. They blocked well for the most part. The Bengals weren't really getting back there. I don't even think they weren't really even touching Lamar like that. Yeah, so I guess the pass blocking was pretty good yesterday. There were no holding penalties, I don't believe. Were there even any holding penalties on either team? I don't think there were any holding penalties on either team. So maybe the refs were just like, oh, like this game it's out of hand. We trying to go home a little bit earlier than usual. Oh, let's just get this over with. So we ain't gonna call holding today. It's a possibility. It's a real possibility. But it's just overall great team game, man. Great team game. Some of my favorite plays from yesterday, obviously the Lamar Jackson run. I forgot how long it was for, but that was just amazing. The Marcus Peters, the bait, how he baited Ryan Finley into making that throw. What else? Oh, the Chuck Clark. The Patrick Ricard forcing a fumble and then them finishing that play. And I wouldn't be mad if they wouldn't have got a touchdown off of that play, because I mean, a turnover is a turnover, and you love turnovers. But for the defense to get to be getting these turnovers and to be scoring off of them on defense, that's great, man. That's great, because again, like we spoke about earlier, this defense is an opportunistic defense. They are they both creating and making most of their opportunities, because they're opportunistic. Are they the number 1 defense right now? Number 2 defense? No, they're not. But they still are making things happen when they got the ball. I think they're number 15 right now. Overall, I believe. Over the last 5 weeks, I think that number will be a little bit different. But overall, I think, because Sarah Ellison, I think she said they're number 15 right now. But, I mean, last time Ravens won a Super Bowl, their defense wasn't number 1. It wasn't number 2. They weren't even number 3. They were number 16. They were either number 16 or 17. So right in the middle of the pack. But that defense, they were opportunistic. Same thing. They were opportunistic. They weren't holding teams all the time. They weren't keeping them out of the end zone all the time. But they were opportunistic. They made plays when they needed to. Even when they didn't really need to. They made plays regardless. So hopefully we can celebrate at the end of this season like we celebrated at the end of that season, because that would be a beautiful, especially if it's down here in Miami. Oh man, that would be great. That would be perfect. Start and finish the season down here. That would be great. But anyway, team, keep it clean. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This was such a great game, and they need to keep this thing going. On to the Texans. That's going to be a very tough opponent. So yeah, we're going to talk about that one too, though. It should have been flexed. It should be a night game, but NFL is NFL. That'd be nice if they made it like an exception. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll flex it now. Even though they got to do it like, I think 12 days prior to, which was, they obviously missed that deadline. But anyway, that's going to be a good one. Anyway, team, keep it clean. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we out.
Like the Ravens, and you know just what I mean. You two, team, keep it clean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, that's my homie, ain't that right engraving? Whoever got the flag, then I'm with y'all.
Hold up. I'm listening to my song, but am I really keeping it clean myself? You know what? Clean check. Breath, good, not great. Hair, this is as good as it's gonna get. Here's what it is. Armpits, yikes, smell like yesterday. But my chest is clean, right? Oh, no. Ooh. But I'm thinking back on the time when I used my regular clippers to shave, and it didn't work out so well. Why can't solutions just fall from the sky? It would be so easy. Let me find out that good things actually do happen to good people. A landscape lawnmower 2.0 just dropped to me like that? Let's see what it's about. I had to plug up my previous clippers, but with the lawnmower 2.0 it's wireless, so I'm winning. Has a skin safe anti-nick guard so I don't cut myself up. And it comes with deodorant and toner, cause you just can't look good, you gotta smell good too. And in addition to that, we also got the personal Manscaped bag, so when we on the go, we can drop all of our accessories right in here. Go to manscaped.com to get your lawnmower 2.0 and use code ENGRAVEN20 to get 20% off along with free shipping.